Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when you feel like you're fading away even though your heart is still beating. You wake up, but you're not alive. You move, but you're not going anywhere. You breathe, but you don't feel the air. Why? Because something inside you has quietly died long before your body ever will. And that is the greatest tragedy of all, to die while you're still alive. There are people who walk among us, hollowed out by heartbreak, failure, rejection, or fear. They've stopped trying, stopped dreaming, stopped believing. They have surrendered their will to circumstances. Their light has dimmed not because life ended, but because they let it. This is not how it's supposed to be. Life is not meant to be endured like a punishment. It's meant to be lived, with all its messiness, all its unpredictability, all its storms and sunshine. You are not born to be a ghost in your own story. Most people stop living long before they die. They don't even realize it. It happens slowly, quietly, almost gently, like a candle running out of wax. One bad day becomes a bad week, then a bad year. A lost dream becomes a forgotten one. A broken heart becomes a closed one. Before they know it, they're just surviving, breathing, eating, walking, but not living. It's not that they don't want to live. It's just that life didn't go the way they planned. Someone hurt them. Someone left. Something failed. Maybe it was their business. Maybe it was their marriage. Maybe it was their health. And slowly they began to believe the lie that this is all there is now. That the best is behind them, that happiness is for other people, that dreams are for children. But that's not true, not even close. You can fall apart and still come back stronger. You can lose everything and still build something beautiful. The problem is not that life knocked you down. The problem is you believed you were meant to stay there. You see, life has a strange way of shaping us. It doesn't use comfort to make us grow. It uses chaos, discomfort, delays, disappointments. It bends us, stretches us. Sometimes it breaks us, but only so we can find out what we're really made of. If you've been hurt, you're not weak. You're human. If you've failed, you're not done. You're learning. If you feel lost, it's not the end. It's a sign to reroute. But many people don't reroute. They don't try again. They don't trust again. They don't dream again. They shut down. They retreat. They shrink. And then they disappear. Their body's here, but their soul is missing. Their spark is gone. Their laugh is hollow. Their eyes don't shine anymore. That is what it means to die before your death. To lose your sense of wonder, to live every day like a checklist, not a celebration. But what if today you chose differently? What if you dared to feel again, even if it hurts? What if you let yourself believe that you still have purpose, even if everything around you says otherwise? What if you woke up and told yourself, I may not have it all figured out, but I'm still here. And that means something. Because it does. It means everything. You still have breath. That's your permission slip to begin again. You still have a voice. That means you still have a story. You still have time. And that means you still have a chance. So don't waste it living halfway. Don't waste it hiding. Don't waste it in regret. Your life is a masterpiece in progress. And no, it hasn't gone the way you thought it would. But that doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. It's not too late to feel alive again. Not perfect, not fearless, just alive. You've made it this far. That means you're stronger than every storm that tried to drown you. Don't give up now. The best chapters are still unwritten. Keep breathing. Keep believing. Keep living. Pain is inevitable, but surrender is a choice. There is not a single person in this world who walks through life without pain. It comes in different forms: heartbreak, loss, failure, betrayal, loneliness. It sneaks into your chest and sits heavy, sometimes without warning. And no matter how much you try to prepare, it always stings. That is pain. It is part of being human. You cannot skip it, you cannot ignore it, you cannot trade it. You can only face it. But what happens after pain? That's where your power lies. Some people wear their pain like armor. They stop letting people in. They stop chasing new dreams. They stop smiling, even when something is worth smiling about, because they think, why try again? It will only hurt, so they surrender. Not to peace, but to fear. They let pain become the gatekeeper of their future. They say, I've been through too much. I don't have the strength anymore. But the truth is, they still have it. They just don't believe it yet. You cannot stop the pain from coming, but you can decide what it does to you. It can either become the story that defines you or the chapter that strengthens you. You can either let it harden your heart or deepen your compassion. You can either allow it to shut you down or teach you how to rise with more grace. Every time life wounds you, it also offers you two paths, one that leads to bitterness and one that leads to rebirth. And yes, choosing not to surrender is hard. So hard. There will be days when it feels like the world is winning, when you cry in the shower so no one hears, when the silence around you is louder than any crowd, when even the thought of getting out of bed feels like lifting a mountain. But in those moments, even the smallest act of resistance matters. Breathing matters. Standing up matters. Saying, I will not let this break me. Even if your voice is shaking, that matters. People confuse surrender with survival, but they're not the same. Survival means you made it through. Surrender means you gave up trying, and you deserve more than just surviving. You deserve to live again, to love again, to laugh again without apologizing for your joy. Sometimes people around you will tell you to move on before you're ready. Sometimes they'll tell you to let go, to stop feeling so much. But pain is not a weakness. It is a sign that you dare to care. It is proof that you were present, that you lived fully. But now that same heart, bruised and aching, needs you to believe that healing is possible. Not overnight, not all at once, but possible. It starts with one small shift, saying no to the voice in your head that says it's over. Refusing to label yourself as broken. Letting the pain visit, but not allowing it to build a home in your soul. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become after it. Pain will try to control the narrative of your life. It will whisper that you're not strong enough, not lucky enough, not worthy of joy anymore. But that's just the echo of a wound. And wounds, no matter how deep, can heal. Not because the world suddenly becomes kind, but because you choose not to let pain become your permanent address. You have the right to feel it, to grieve it, to fall apart. But you also have the right to rebuild. To say, this happened, and I'm still standing. To turn pain into power. To turn scars into stories. To turn endings into beginnings. Don't silence your dreams to make others comfortable. There is a strange pressure in this world to shrink yourself, to speak softer, to want less, to aim smaller, just so others do not feel insecure around your light. You learn early on that being too much makes people uncomfortable, too ambitious, too passionate, too expressive. So you begin to dim your own fire just to fit in. You stop talking about the things that make your heart beat faster. You hide the dreams that once made your eyes sparkle. You play it safe, hoping the world will accept you if you stay small. But that is not what you were made for. You were made to take up space. You were made to dream loudly. You were made to wake up in the morning with a vision so bold it scares even you a little. Your dreams are not a problem. Your dreams are your purpose whispering to you. But the more you bury them to please others, the more you lose pieces of yourself. You become a version of you that is easier for the world to digest, but harder for you to live with. The people who tell you to be realistic are often the ones who gave up on their own dreams. They see your fire, and it reminds them of what they never dared to chase. So instead of encouraging you, they hand you their fear. They say, "That's not practical. That's not how the world works." But just because it's not how they did it, doesn't mean it's not possible for you. You do not need everyone to understand your dream. You just need the courage to believe in it yourself. Not every path will make sense to others. Sometimes even the people closest to you will doubt you. Not because they don't love you, but because they don't see what you see. That's okay. Your dream was given to you, not them. And yes, chasing your dream will feel lonely sometimes. You'll wonder if you're being foolish, if you're wasting your time, if you should just go back to what's normal. But the truth is, your dream is not just about you. It is about the people who will one day be inspired by the fact that you didn't give up. It is about the doors you will open for someone else. It is about the mark you leave behind by being unapologetically yourself. You cannot lead a meaningful life while abandoning what gives your soul meaning. You cannot inspire others if you are always silencing the most powerful parts of you. Playing small does not serve the world. Hiding your gifts does not protect anyone. It only delays the beauty you were meant to create. So dream boldly, speak your truth, build the thing no one else believes in yet. Let them call you unrealistic. Let them call you crazy. One day they'll call you brave. But don't wait for that validation. Don't wait for approval to start. Your dream does not need a committee. It only needs your commitment. The people who belong in your life will celebrate your dreams, not shame them. They will fan your flames, not try to extinguish them. And if you haven't found those people yet, keep walking. They exist. But first you have to believe you are worthy of dreaming out loud, even in the silence of disbelief. You have to know that your voice, your vision, your dream, they matter. And you don't need to apologize for wanting more. You just need to be bold enough to go after it. Healing starts the moment you choose yourself. There comes a time when you get tired of being the second option in your own life. You wake up one day and realize that you have spent so long pouring into others, fixing what is broken around you, chasing after approval, and staying in places that make you feel small. And somewhere in the middle of all that effort, you forget about the person you are supposed to take care of first. Yourself. You do not heal by waiting for someone to apologize. You do not heal by waiting for life to suddenly become perfect. Healing is not about forgetting what happened or pretending it did not hurt. It begins the moment you decide that your well-being matters more than someone else's opinion, that your peace is not up for negotiation, that you no longer want to carry pain like it is your identity. People will tell you healing takes time, and that is true, but time alone is not enough. You can sit with your pain for years and still feel stuck, because time does not heal if you do not choose yourself in that time. Healing begins when you stop abandoning yourself, when you stop apologizing for needing space, when you stop trying to prove your worth to people who never saw it in the first place, when you stop blaming yourself for how others treated you, when you finally say, "I deserve better," and actually believe it. Choosing yourself does not mean you become selfish. It means you become honest. Honest about what drains you. Honest about what you need. Honest about the people and places that no longer serve your growth. And that honesty can feel terrifying. Because sometimes choosing yourself means walking away from things you once prayed for. It means releasing what is familiar, but no longer safe. It means sitting in silence long enough to hear what your own heart has been trying to tell you. Healing asks you to be gentle with yourself in a world that often tells you to be strong. It asks you to feel the things you have been avoiding, to stop numbing, to stop pretending, to feel the ache, the loss, the grief, and then slowly make peace with it. That peace does not come all at once. It comes in waves, in quiet moments, in the way you start breathing deeper, in the way you start sleeping better, in the way your laughter returns. Even if just for a second, sometimes you will relapse. You will miss the version of you who settled. You will feel the urge to go back to what broke you, just because it feels familiar. But every time you choose yourself again, every time you decide not to settle, not to chase, not to shrink, you are building a new foundation, one that is rooted in self-trust, not self-sacrifice. The moment you choose yourself, the healing begins, even if nothing on the outside has changed. Your body starts to feel safer. Your mind begins to unclench. Your spirit starts to stretch its wings again. You begin to see hope where there was once only hurt. You begin to write a new story, one where you are no longer the background character in your own life. And yes, it is a process. Some days you will feel powerful, and other days you will feel like starting over. But that is okay. Progress is not a straight line. It is the decision to keep showing up for yourself, even on the hard days. To keep choosing your healing, your joy, your boundaries. To keep choosing your future over your past. Healing is not about becoming someone new. It is about coming home to who you were before the world told you to be someone else. Life is not about perfection. It's about presence. There's a constant noise around us telling us to be more, do more, fix more. Everywhere you look, someone seems to have it all figured out. The perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect smile. And in that pressure, you begin to feel like you're always behind. Like you're always chasing an image that never becomes real. You start measuring your worth by how flawless your life looks, instead of how deeply you are living it. Perfection is a lie we were sold. It whispers that if we just try a little harder, keep everything under control, never make a mistake, never fall apart, then we will finally be enough. But the truth is, the most beautiful parts of life are not perfect. They are raw, messy, and real. They are in the laughter that erupts without warning, the tears that come in silence, the moments when you are fully present in your own skin without pretending to be someone else. Presence means being here, fully here, even when life is not going the way you planned. It means allowing yourself to feel everything without numbing it or editing it. It means showing up, not as a polished version of yourself, but as the honest one, the tired one, the hopeful one, the real one. Because the more you try to perfect every moment, the more you miss it. You miss the joy in the imperfect dinner, the beauty in the broken conversation, the connection in the awkward silence. Some of the most meaningful moments in life happen when nothing goes right, when plans fall apart, when the unexpected happens, when you find yourself in a place you never imagined but somehow needed. And in those moments you realize that presence is what saves you, not perfection. Presence is what keeps you grounded when the storm hits. It reminds you to breathe, to pause, to look around and see that even now something beautiful still exists. We are all guilty of chasing the highlight reel, wanting every picture to be flawless, every word to be inspiring, every day to be productive. But life is not a photo shoot. It is not a series of edited frames. It is a living, breathing experience that asks you to be awake to it, to feel it, to engage with it. And sometimes that means being okay with not having the answers. Sometimes it means sitting with your sadness, not trying to fix it. Sometimes it means laughing in the middle of chaos, just because your heart found a reason to. Being present also means accepting where you are, not just where you wish to be. It means giving yourself permission to rest, to be still, to not always be moving forward. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments, in the pause, in the breath, in the decision to stay, to listen, to feel. And when you allow yourself that kind of presence, life begins to soften. You begin to notice things you used to miss. The way the sun feels on your face, the sound of your own voice, the quiet pride in your small victories. You do not need to be perfect to be worthy. You do not need to have everything figured out to be enough. You just need to show up. You just need to be present. Because in presence there is peace. In presence there is truth. And in presence there is a version of you that isn't trying so hard to be something else. A version of you that is simply allowed to be. The world may not see your worth, but you must. There will be days when your efforts go unnoticed, when your kindness is taken for granted, when your hard work is dismissed, when your presence feels invisible in a room full of people. You will wonder what more you need to do to be seen, to be appreciated, to be enough. But the truth is, you were never meant to base your worth on other people's recognition. Your value doesn't increase when someone compliments you, and it doesn't decrease when someone ignores you. You are worthy because you exist, not because someone else agrees with it. The world is often too distracted to notice quiet strength. It celebrates loud achievements, spotlight moments, and polished success stories. It rarely applauds the silent battles you fight every day, the days you show up despite the weight you carry, the nights you choose to hold on when giving up seems easier. These moments don't make headlines, but they define your character, and that is something no one can measure or validate for you. You might meet people who overlook you, underestimate you, or even try to diminish your light. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because they don't have the eyes to see what you carry. They judge your journey without knowing your struggles. They label you based on what you lack, instead of honoring what you've overcome. But you cannot let their shallow perspective shape your deep truth. You are not their opinion. You are not their limitation. You are not their noise. The real challenge is not to convince others of your value. The real challenge is to believe in it when no one else does. To look in the mirror and choose to honor the person you see. To stop seeking validation from people who are still trying to find their own. Because when you know your worth, you stop settling. You stop begging for attention. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never designed for your growth. You begin to walk differently. You speak with more truth. You protect your peace with more courage. You let go of things that drain you, even if they once meant everything. You stop measuring your value by how much you are needed, wanted, or liked. Instead, you begin to live from a place of deep self-respect. That shift changes everything. Sometimes you will be too much for people, too honest, too passionate, too quiet, too different. Let them go. The people who truly see you will never ask you to be less. They will celebrate the things others misunderstood. They will feel lucky to know you. But you have to meet yourself there first. You have to be your own witness, your own defender, your own reminder that you matter, even when the world forgets. It is not arrogance to believe in your worth. It is survival. In a world that profits from your self-doubt, the most rebellious thing you can do is love yourself anyway. To wake up each day and remind yourself that you belong here. Not because of your titles or your achievements, but because you are human and breathing and trying your best. No one else gets to decide what makes you valuable. Not your job title, not your relationship status, not your bank account. You are not a product. You are a person. You are complex, growing, learning, and unfolding, and that in itself is enough. So even when you feel unseen, uncelebrated, or underestimated, don't forget who you are. Don't forget what you've survived. Don't forget the strength it took just to be here. The world may not notice, but you must. You are not your scars. They are just proof you survived. Scars are strange things. They show up when the wound has closed, but the memory is still there. You can run your fingers across them and remember how it hurt, where it hurt, and why it hurt. And somehow, those little lines or invisible bruises become a part of how you see yourself. You begin to believe that what damaged you has defined you. But that is the biggest lie pain ever tells. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are signs of war. They say, yes, I was hurt. Yes, I fell. But I also got back up. They are your silent witnesses. They are the chapters of your life that did not destroy you. They shaped you. The world may see them and ask, what happened here? But you should look at them and say, look what I made it through. There's a certain kind of pain that leaves no blood but tears you from the inside. Rejection, betrayal, abandonment, those leave scars no one can see, but you carry them anyway. And sometimes you let them write the story of who you are. You tell yourself you are too broken to be whole again, too damaged to be chosen, too flawed to be loved. But you are not your pain. You are the person who lived through it. There will be people who walk away when they see your scars. Let them. They were never meant to stay. There will also be people who try to shame you for what you've been through. Don't listen to them. They have not walked your road. And there will be days when you look in the mirror and wish you could erase it all. But what if you could see your scars as medals, not marks? Because every time life hit you hard, you still showed up. You still kept going. Even if you crawled through it, even if you cried your way through it, you did not give up. That is what a scar means. It is healing, not defeat. Some people are scared to show their scars. They hide their past, their stories, their pain, thinking it makes them less valuable. But vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage. When you show your scars, you tell someone else, you're not alone. And that can be the light they need when they're lost in their own darkness. You don't need to pretend to be untouched. You just need to be real. The strongest people are not the ones with the cleanest histories. They're the ones who chose not to let their history ruin their future. You are allowed to be proud of who you've become, even if the path here wasn't perfect. Sometimes you will feel the ache again, a place where the scar used to burn, a memory, a smell, a name, a photograph. And it might sting for a second. That doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. It means you're human. It means you cared enough to feel, and brave enough to heal. There is nothing weak about surviving. There is nothing shameful about scars. You didn't come this far just to be ashamed of your story. You came this far to tell it differently. To look at the mirror and not see damage, but depth. Not loss, but learning. Not broken pieces, but a mosaic, built with strength. You are still whole, even with the cracks. You are still beautiful, even with the bruises. And every scar is proof that a wound once tried to end you, but failed. You were not made to disappear. You were made to shine. There is a quiet pain in pretending you are okay with being unseen. When you keep shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that do not value you, you begin to lose sight of who you truly are. You start believing that blending in is safer than standing out. That being silent is better than being judged. That playing small will protect you from disappointment. But deep down, a part of you aches for more. A part of you knows that you were never meant to fade into the background. You were born with light, not borrowed, not copied, your own. A light that no one else carries in the same way. A voice, a vision, a purpose that belongs to you alone. But the world has a way of dimming people. It teaches you early on to conform, to not ask too many questions, to not dream too big, to not be too emotional, too opinionated, too sensitive, too bold. And slowly you start dimming yourself. Not because you want to, but because you think it's what you're supposed to do. Every time you silence your truth to make someone else comfortable, you disappear a little. Every time you deny your talent because you're scared of failing, you disappear a little. Every time you hold back your laughter, your creativity, your authenticity, just to be accepted, you disappear a little. But the more you vanish, the heavier life feels. Because you were never meant to hide in the shadows of your own existence. You were meant to shine, not with perfection, not with noise, but with presence, with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they belong here, with the gentle strength of someone who carries their truth like a flame that won't go out. Your light doesn't have to blind anyone. It doesn't need to compete. It just needs to be seen. And the first person who must see it is you. You don't need permission to be visible. You don't need applause to know you're worthy. You don't need to be flawless, to be impactful. What you need is the courage to stop apologizing for being yourself. The courage to show up with all your imperfections and say, this is me, and I'm not going to hide anymore. Because the world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more real. More people who are willing to stand in their truth and remind others that they can do the same. There will be moments when it feels easier to go back into hiding. When people misunderstand your intentions. When your kindness is seen as weakness. When your brilliance is met with silence. And in those moments you must remind yourself why you started shining in the first place. Not for approval. Not for validation. But because staying hidden was slowly breaking your spirit. Because disappearing was costing you more than rejection ever could. Your story matters. Your presence matters. And even if the world does not always clap for you, even if your efforts go unseen, you must keep shining. Because your light is not just for you. It lights the way for someone else. Someone who is still afraid to be seen. Someone who needs to see that it's possible to step into their truth. Someone who is waiting for proof that you can be real and still be enough. You do not owe the world a smaller version of yourself. You owe it your full presence. You owe it your voice. You owe it the light only you can give. So show up. Speak up. Take up space. Not with arrogance, but with authenticity. Not with perfection, but with power. You were never made to disappear. You were made to shine.